Welcome to today's deep dive. For you listening, we're pulling from a source called Talking About Jesus.
Right.
And we're really exploring the core Christian teaching on human nature, grace, and, well, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And our mission today is to unpack this massive paradigm shift, moving away from exhausting self-reliance and toward this concept of divine grace.
Right, so picture this. You do something truly selfless for a stranger. No one is watching at all.
Yeah, totally anonymous.
But as you walk away, a tiny part of your brain thinks, I wish someone had seen that. Like, you secretly want a gold star.
Oh, absolutely. That lingering desire for a round of applause it's universal. And it really strikes at the very heart of this worldview.
Because we so often measure goodness by, outward achievements, right?
Yeah, by the optics.
Mm.
But the Christian framework flips that completely. It looks straight into the underlying motives.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the perspective here is pretty uncompromising. It strips away our shiny veneer and describes even our absolute best, most noble human efforts as filthy and soiled rags.
Yeah, it's intense.
The argument is that these actions are inherently stained with pride. Like, there is almost always a mixed motive, right? A desperate need for approval
Or maybe just a quiet sense of superiority over the person next to you.
Right. But I feel like being told my best charity work is a filthy rag is just, well, insulting. How is that freeing?
What's fascinating here is that this stark imagery isn't actually designed to be a massive guilt trip. Exposing those hidden desires for recognition is meant to be deeply liberating.
Liberating. I mean, it feels like modern social media virtue signaling. Are supposedly noble actions really just an Instagram filter we slap over our own egos to look good to everyone else?
Exactly. Just think about the immense psychological pressure of having to constantly manage that filter.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, always proving your worth.
Right, proving it to the world and to yourself. When you accept the premise that your underlying motives are flawed, the exhausting pretense of having to be perfectly impressive just shatters. You don't have to fake it anymore.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. If everything we do is tainted by selfishness, that leaves a pretty massive void.
It does.
How do we actually do any good? The framework points the compass entirely away from human effort and directly toward Jesus Christ.
Right. The claim is that genuine compassion or patience or generosity, it doesn't originate from the human heart at all.
It's exclusively the work of God's Spirit.
Exactly. The mechanism of grace operates on a total replacement of your moral resume. Instead of being judged on those fragile, ego-driven attempts...
Just rags.
Yeah, those rags. A person is instead covered with the righteousness of Christ. In practical terms, that means God credits you with Jesus' perfect record.
Wow.
So the pressure to save yourself or prove your moral superiority vanishes because the requirement has already been met. You are clean, forgiven, and accepted.
Wait, hold on. If God's Spirit is supplying all the actual goodness and we're just getting credited for Jesus' record, are humans just passive robots in this equation?
That's the natural next question.
Right. Does this framework render our own efforts completely useless?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not about being a robot. It's about shifting from being a manufacturer to being a vessel. Your efforts aren't useless, but you are no longer the original power source.
So how does a stained, flawed human effort actually get used for something genuinely good?
By stripping away the ego. When you act out of weakness, fully admitting you don't have it all together, that vulnerability allows for genuine connection.
Without the superiority.
Exactly. God takes that broken, honest effort and uses it to demonstrate his own grace. The flawed action becomes a display of divine strength, precisely because everyone knows it's not coming from your own human perfection.
So what does this all mean? Ultimately, it's a blueprint for radical humility. It really dismantles the urge to secretly admire our own holiness or constantly measure our moral score against someone else's.
Yeah, the ideal end state is for a life to operate as a song of gratitude, rather than a campaign of self-congratulation. Every good work becomes an arrow pointing outward toward God, rather than a spotlight shining back on you.
Which forces us to look in the mirror about that gold star we all secretly crave.
We all do.
We really want to leave you with this thought to mull over today. If you woke up tomorrow completely, miraculously cured of your hunger for recognition and reputation, what good deeds would you actually choose to do?